What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. I appreciate you being here. We're going to get into a little of the metrics, the numbers. It's going to get a little numbery, mathematical, mathy. The math may not math because I'm going to do a lot of it in my head. But we're going to dive down into the weeds of, first, how do you set your goals for what you want to do this year? The easiest way to set a goal for what you want to do this year is, how many houses do you want to do? Okay, that's simple. And that's usually how I think of things in a grand scheme, but it's based on other numbers, or it should be based on other numbers. First thing is that you want to know that your margin is going to be good. And if it's not going to be good, like we talked about in past episodes, if you're doing it for a purpose, if this is your first year and you say, I want to get 50 houses this first year, and I'm willing to sell them a little bit cheaper. You do not have to do that. If you can sell them at a higher ticket rate, it's fine. But if you don't feel like you can, or you're not closing or whatever, and you're modifying your price to get that closing, getting them the first year puts you in a good position to make profit the next year, as long as your pricing is decent. Does that make sense? So let's just say you're going with the lease model and you're charging $4 the first year, $4 the second year, $4 the third year, $4 every year, $4 a foot. You're going to make money your second year. Your margin your first year is going to be like 15 or 20% gross profit margin, which is not great in this industry, but there's a little margin there. But your next year, if you just did the 50 houses by yourself, your margin could be like 70%, 65 to 70%. So it's worth it. And then you'll have them for a long time. Now let's talk about attrition. What I've seen over the past 12 years is that you're going to have a 10 to 15% attrition rate every year. If you did 100 houses in 2025, you're probably only going to retain about 85 of those, which that's not bad. So our numbers last year, our first year getting back into the business after selling our other business 5 years ago, I can't always remember the dates, but in 2020, we did 91 jobs. Now that is not 91 customers, that's 91 jobs. So some of those jobs, we did 2 jobs for 1 customer. And then we also had about 10 of those that were free. So it was my parents, my mother-in-law, some of our rental properties, and other things, okay? So the jobs that we did, let's just call them 80 jobs. Our total revenue for last year was $89,000. Just call it $90,000. That comes out to $1,125 a job. So even though we started at a lower price, we continued to bump it up through the season, and we averaged higher ticket prices, higher items, $11.25 per job. But if we lose 15% of those just based on attrition, we're filling out our schedules right now today for me. As you're watching this, it's going to be October sometime, but it's September 29th. We've filled out the first 3 weeks of our season. We have about 3 weeks. We have about 60 jobs lined out for the first 3 weeks of our season. But if the attrition rate is 15%, that means we're going to lose 12 jobs out of those 80 paying jobs, which puts us at 68. So we're pretty close to retaining all up to that 85% mark. Here we go with the math, right? I always try to set 3 goals, okay? Because I want to be realistic. I want to push hard. I hate feeling like a failure if we push super hard, if we did what we know that we needed to do to push, and we just didn't meet the mark. Sometimes the market's a little off, or sometimes I'm a little off and I don't sell as well one day as I do the other. So I always set 3 goals. And these 3 goals are, I really want to grow. Last year we did 80 paying jobs. That's the ones what we're going to talk about. We're going to do some more free jobs. By the way, if you make profit, do some stuff for free for your community or for people that can't afford Christmas lights. Just go randomly put Christmas lights on somebody's house that you maybe know of is struggling. That's a super cool thing to do. Also, by the way, go to lawnandlightpro.com. Sign up to be a contractor. Just hit register at the top. They get you listed. We'll get you approved to be a contractor. Those 2 things have nothing. We are not charity, so I don't want you to think like I'm talking about people that need charity, and then us. It's not the same thing. It just happened to be in the same moment. Our goal, our low-end goal, our mid goal, which is what we're really going for, and then our high-end goal, like if we hit that, that's just incredible. Lord works in mysterious ways, and we hit it. It's a big deal. So our low-end goal is 85 houses. That should be achievable based on what we did last year. The reason I know is because last year we didn't push as hard in our marketing as we could have. When I got busy, I quit doing organic stuff. So I wrote this down. We posted our logo on Facebook for our local business on August 29th. We kept posting at a decent pace until October 16th. That was our last post, October 16th. We did have Facebook ads running, I believe, from beginning of October to probably December 5th. So we stayed busy. We stayed busy based on the time that we had. I did not have a full-time crew last year. I had me and one guy running the truck, and it was typically 2 or 3 days a week. So as the jobs came in, and we're talking about 90 jobs total, 80 paying jobs total. As the jobs came in, we would schedule them on, like, I don't remember what days, but like Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Because he had other jobs, my crew leader had other jobs that he had to do too. He has his own business as well. So we weren't working full time. Now I was consistently working on the business, but we didn't have to. It was our first year. So we just stacked them up on certain days instead of like doing one on Monday, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday. We didn't want to do that. We wanted to stack them up, which is fine because we were explaining that to our customers. We were explaining the days we were coming to our customers. Well, you're going to be on Thursday or whatever. We don't always tell our customers what day we're coming. We'll give them a range and say, hey, you're going to get an email from Jobber, from us. That's our program, Jobber, where the day before you get an email that we're coming, and then you get a text. Automatic. All this happens automatically. You get a text the morning of. So back to our goals. 85 is our low end goal. 115 is our mid range goal, and 140 is our high end goal. 85. Where'd I get that from? Well, I know we can do that because that's what we did last year. And if we spend more on Facebook ads and we do organic marketing, we're probably going to do more than 85 jobs. So 115, if I bump my Facebook ad spend to, I think we were spending about $30 a day on Facebook ads, 30 to 40. I can't remember exactly. I'm actually meeting with my guy tomorrow to get that set up. I want to ramp that up, and I want to figure out what works. So what I'm going to focus on is making sure that our organic content is steady, and we're going to focus on Facebook and Instagram, and that's it. Unless I have somebody on my team installing that's good at that kind of stuff, and then I'll give them access to TikTok and let them have fun and play with that. Otherwise, it's just going to be Facebook and Instagram. But we're going to, at least try to do 3 posts a week, 4 posts a week. And they can be super simple. Hey, we're out here at this job. Just got it lit up. I know it's 11 o'clock, but we had a long day and we worked hard and just wanted to show you this beautiful house. Whatever, something like that. Or creative things like when I go to a coffee shop and give me a cup of coffee and leave $100 at the counter in $10 gift cards, and then I get on Facebook and say, hey, if you mention Local Lights, that's our local company, if you mention Local Lights and you come to this coffee shop, they're going to give you a $10 gift card. Okay, so just to create some social presence. It's not always just talking about your business. We're going to do those things. We're going to ramp it up. We're going to ramp up our Facebook ad spend. So I do believe that we can hit those 115. But what I was getting at in the beginning is it's not just about the 115. Because this is where it's going to get I tell you what, closing rates and building goals off of margin, that is what we're going to talk about next. Closing rates and building goals off of gross revenue or margin and how to get to that number. That's what we're about to talk about. Join us on the next episode. Remember, love God, love others, let your light reflect that. We'll catch you on the next one.